When I was in college, we didn't have back row. Man, it looks like you're adjusting pretty well to playing outside backer. How's that going for you?
It's going pretty well. Just taking every game, one game at a time, one practice at a time, and just getting 1% better. That's something that I preach to the guys this spring, man. You know, each and every day you go out, just try to get at least 1% better at something.
What's been the biggest transition? I mean, going from inside to out.
In what regards? Can you repeat
Well,
that?
I mean, yeah. What's the biggest difference playing outside and inside?
Outside, one of the notable things for me is I get to rush. Inside, I didn't get to really rush that much. But that's one of the things that I noticed that's really fun for me. That's something I never did, but something that I really have fun doing. And I'm able to play in space. You know, I played safety in high school, and it's just more comfortable for me.
And you got in a couple sacks. You didn't have a sack until this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So I guess that's kind of what you're talking about, getting to rush. What has that been a rush to get to rush? Whatever.
Yes, sir. It's been. I mean, I just try to get as many sacks as I can and do the best I can for the team. It's a motto that we have in the outside linebacker room, is just hunting the ball, and that's something that I try to go out and perfect every game.
What did it feel like in that first sack? Is that something you've been thinking about?
Yeah, definitely. I think about that, you know, day in and day out. It's a true blessing to be able to, you know, make a sack, and by that being my first one, I just was really thankful.
Well, it's 2 in 4 games, so that's pretty good. You're on a pretty decent pace. I mean, do you think you got some more sacks in you?
Yes, sir, definitely. I'm trying to get, you know, as many as I can. You know, I don't have a limit on a certain number I'm trying to achieve. I'm just trying to take advantage of each and every opportunity that I get, and when I get one, you know, I'm thankful for it.
Do you feel like this weekend?
They got a couple of good tight ends. I'm sorry, I thought you.
Go ahead.
They got a couple of good tight ends, and the Hayden Hurst kid is really prolific for them. What have you seen out of him, and what kind of role does that mean for you outside linebackers in terms of tight ends?
What I see from Hurst, man, he's a great player. Like I was telling the guys, he kind of reminds me of Hunter Henry. You know, he's a big target. You know, they target him a lot. You know, they go to him a lot. He has really great hands. He has a big body, and he blocks well. Number 40 is a great player as well. So it's going to be a great challenge for the outside linebackers in the secondary this week.
Yeah, you're a guy. Brett said probably ideally you would have redshirted, but because you're changing positions from high school, but that they just really didn't have the depth, so you had to play. Well, I mean, just how would you kind of sum up your career to this point? It seems like you've gotten better every year and just added more and more into your game.
I mean, freshman year, you know, I did wish I would have redshirted, but one of the things that my parents, you know, always told me is that God has a plan for you, and I don't question that. You know, I walk by faith and not by sight, so I don't question the things, how they happen. I just, you know, go along with the flow and just do the best that I can at whatever position that I'm at. But, yeah, I definitely wish, you know, I was able to just stick at one position and perfect that. But, like I said, it's not the cards that I was dealt, and the cards that I was dealt, you know, I just make the most of those.
And you've played all 4 linebacker spots now, right?
Yes, sir. Mike, Will, Hog, and Razor.
Yeah. And you're mostly Razor now?
Mostly Hog now.
Okay.
Rambo's Razor.
Okay. I knew it was one of the other. Just how does it feel to kind of be settled in somewhere?
It's really cool. It just narrows my focus. Being from having to, you know, learn all 4 positions to, you know, now just focusing on one. I still know the Razor, you know, pretty well. I know that me and Rambo can flip-flop, you know, if need be. But like I said, just narrowing that focus down on one position and just perfecting that one position is great for me.
Do you feel like this Saturday is an opportunity for guys to really get some sacks? They've given up a lot. They're kind of banged up. It's not necessarily as mobile of a quarterback as you guys have faced. I mean, can you speak to that?
Yes, sir, they're banged up, but like I said, they're still a great offensive line. From what I've seen on film, you know, they're really great at, you know, picking up games in the pass rush. So, I mean, like I said, if the opportunity presents, man, I would love to go get us some sacks, you know, me and Rambo and Gabe and Carl. So, yeah.
Coach B always talks about how you're taking notes, right? What do you do that because that's kind of how you memorize things? Do you go back and look at them? Do you use them in any way?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's something, like I told Coach B and the team, that's something that my dad always told me. You're never too old or young to learn. So every time a speaker comes or every time someone speaks of, you know, I just write it down and I value everything that they say because you never know what a person has to offer. It can be someone on the street or it can be, you know, a CEO of a business. It doesn't matter. You know, you can always learn something from someone. So, yeah, as I write these notes down, I always go back, you know, that night and I'll just look over it. So I just make sure I keep it fresh in my mind and just apply it when I can.
Are these like
How many
big
notebooks do you have?
For my time being here,
Do you keep them?
yeah. Well, when I was when I was an inside linebacker, actually, when they remodeled the room, I actually lost about 3. This year, I've been through 4. So.
You lost some?
Yeah, I lost them when they remodeled the room. They took them out, and I ended up losing them. I have a couple at home, definitely still from freshman to sophomore year, but I lost like 3 or 4 in the remodeling process of the inside linebacker room.
So you fill up about 6 or 7 a year, something like that?
Yes, sir, around there.
We're talking like big notepads or like
It's
ones?
the I believe it's the 3 subject notebooks, whatever they give us.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I got some of those stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, man, just everybody. I mean, from coaches to players, I value everyone and I respect everyone. So knowledge is power, and that's something that I pride myself on.
How young were you when you started taking notes pretty regularly?
I started reading at about 4, so I probably started at about 5. About 5
Really?
years old, yeah.
Taking notes? Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
You still have it from when you were a little kid? Or?
I don't have all of them, but my mom, she has a big collection.
Yeah, moms, they like to save stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
you know how that goes.
And like I say, look, and as a freshman, you played mostly special teams because obviously they need good guys on there too. But from there to where you are now, just what's that journey been like for you?
It's been a bumpy road. It's been, some ups and downs. Every time, I get used to a position, they'll need me somewhere else. So I have to, I finally be getting good at, the will, and then I move to Mike. And as I, start to get in the hand of Mike, then I move to, Hog, or, I move to Razor. So just moving around was always a challenge and transition. But over the years, it's just something I learned to embrace. Change always happens, and you just never know when your number's called. And it's good to be versatile to know, all 4. So, if they need me at inside or outside, you're not going to play both. So,
can you take me through, where all did you play each year? As freshman, sophomore, just where all did you play?
Okay, freshman year I played well linebacker. I backed up Montreal Spate. Sophomore year I backed up Dre Greenlaw, and then I moved to starting Sam. Right. In the 4-3 scheme. Junior year I played well linebacker and some Mike due to injuries. And then my senior year, I went in the spring. I was at will linebacker, and 2 weeks within spring, I got moved to the Razor linebacker. And fall camp, I was at the Razor still, and then 2 weeks. Probably 2 weeks ending of fall camp, I got moved to Hog. Yes, sir.
Dwayne, you guys haven't had great success rushing the passer so far this year. How do you plan on changing that against South Carolina and Jake Bentley?
Like I said, just taking advantage of the opportunities that's given. We hope for more rush ops, but the rush ops that we do have, we have to capitalize on them. So, just making the most of our rush ops and just keep working at that each and every day.
Do you feel good that the patience and perseverance you've shown, willingness to do what the coaches want and need of you, do you feel like that's paying off for you now?
Yes, sir, definitely. Like I said, man, I never question God's plan, and everything happens for a reason. So, the coaches, they have experience. That's one thing that they're great at. So, maybe they see something that I don't always see, but I can't, mope and pot about it. I have to just, take everything for a grain of salt and what it is, and I have to just work at whatever they put me at and just try to be the best that I can be at that position.
But what's the difference between Razor and Hog? Is there a lot of difference between the two? I guess one's more strong side, one's...
To be honest, there's not really much of a difference between the two. Just the Razor is more of the field, outside linebacker, and the Hog is more to the boundary. But as far as the jobs that those guys both do, we pretty much both do the same thing in certain schemes. But they do have a slight correlation, and they're slightly different. But for the most part, I try to group things that's alike together, and the things that's different, I stand, make those things that stand out of my notes and make sure I get those down so that I don't get confused in the two.
I should know this. I should look it up. Who's your first sack against this year?
FAMU.
Yeah. So how'd that feel?
I know it's unbelievable. I came off the edge. I really was untouched, and I was just am I dreaming right now? But it wasn't a dream. And when I made the tackle, I made the sack. It just gave me a feeling. And I was like, man, I won't. After I look back and reflect on it, I'm like, man, I want that feeling again. I love, how that made me feel. And then, sack, getting sacks is like an art, man. That's something that's hard to do. Everyone can't rush the passer. So, like I said, I just try to keep, improving and getting better at that each and every day, man.
Okay, thanks, man.
You
Appreciate
feel
it.
like you guys will have some pretty good opportunities to get some pass rush and sacks this weekend?
Yeah, sure. I think we'll have some good, opportunities. Just depending on, the call and, what they give us. But I think we'll have some opportunities this week.
How key is it going to be stopping the run?
Big, man. That's where our defense starts. We have to stop the run. The games that we lost, we gave up way too many rushing yards. So, stopping the run is something that's big, and that's something that we pride ourselves on as a defense.
Thanks.